What is good, y'all? Here we are. We're finally here, guys. If you see what's on the screen here, this is JID Animals, Part 1 featuring Eminem. I've been wanting to do this all week, but I've been so sick. I have been in bed. I've caught this, whatever it is. Lots of coughing, so I haven't been able to really do any reaction videos because I couldn't go 10 seconds without coughing. And I laid in bed for about 4 days, honestly, just really super sick. But I'm feeling better. I'm not 100%, but I'm feeling better. I figure I can get a video out there. It's about time. But yeah, we're gonna do JID Animals featuring M. Now this is a banger. Sorry I'm slow to it. I'm gonna be breaking this song down the best that I can. So bear with me. I'll try to do my best to let it play a little bit, maybe the whole verse or something. I'll see what I can do. And then we'll rewind and back it up and break down the bars. With that said, guys, I've jumped into the rap game. I've done it. I've jumped into it myself. I have a new song out called House of Ashes. It's my featured video on my page here. If you guys would do me a favor, just check it out. If you like it, hit a like, throw in a comment. I need to get some traction on it. If you don't like it, throw in a comment anyways. I mean, it's my first of many. I've been writing and recording so many hip hop songs, and they're not all hip hop, but you know, trying to break into that avenue myself to show I can do a little bit of wordplay and a little bit of stuff there and try to get my little rap game on. So check out House of Ashes. It's a little political, but who doesn't like political songs, right? But yeah, so with that said, let me just give you a little sample of it. I'll just give you a quick 30 seconds of it.
Every left swipe, every right me. Just pop it to the prideful machine. You red pill heads and you woke night queens. Miss Christ while you chase your screens. I'm a nightmare wrapped in revival flame with a Nazareth blade in a ghostly name. Woe to them that call evil good. You've been hoodwinked, misunderstood.
Now that that's done, I hope you guys enjoy the song. Let's jump into JID Animals. Now, like I said, I'm going to be breaking this down. It's probably a long video, so let's just jump right into it. Let's see what they have to say. Make sure this is working.
Look, please don't bring no scare business to me. I fear no man, no hand holding banana clips, a chimpanzee to rip at me. The tip ain't cheap, the dick ain't free. I ain't no bitch, a bitch ain't me. I beat a beast, I been up beat. You been on me, you bet on me. Who better than me? You better believe it never could be. I'm better to eat, they better get it ready for me. I'm killing the scene, they gotta get a medical team. The gun a machine, the tongue is a gun. They come with a bean, they come in the red, they come in the green. And somebody scared cause I seen it. Get him bed and get him a king and get him a machete, give it a swing. I'm thinking of deadly things. Sit in the red drink, red rum, 15187. Look a lie, little nigga, they been living a lie. I never
Dang!
The last nigga I seen tried it, did it and died. Get a better disguise, you ain't figured it out. Niggas ain't trying to get victimized. I got a pit in a clip and a sick the bar. Don't nobody wanna get sent to guard a stick hit through the meat like a shish kebab. Take it out with a
Dude, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire. Let's rewind this and break it down a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's fire. Oh, dude, he's an animal, literally. Let's see what he has to say here. Let's break this down.
Look, please don't bring no scare business to me. I fear no man, no hand holding banana clips, a chimpanzee to rip at me. The tip ain't cheap, the dick ain't.
Okay, so he says, please don't bring no scare business to me, right? And he says, I fear no man, no hand holding. I love this because JID is, you know, establishing his fearless persona, right? Like, listen, you can diss me, you can attack me, you can do it all you want. I ain't part of your scare business, right? And then he says there's no hand holding, meaning like, listen, I do this on my own. I'm part of the rap game myself. It's my self-reliance. I don't rely on anybody else, you know? I don't need anyone's guidance, anyone's support. I do this by myself. And I love this bar here because the song's called Animals, you know, and he's like, banana clips a chimpanzee to rip at me. That's great because it's a double, right? Banana clip, you know, can mean the curved ammunition of, you know, the magazine of a firearm, you know, but he's likening it to like a banana rod, or a banana, you know, which again gives like a nod to this whole animal theme here. And then he says, going on that bar, listen, you guys are chimpanzees, right? That's all you are. You know, you're just a little primate. You're trying to rip or attack me, he's saying. But you know, you're implying that your efforts here, JID says it's futile. You know, and then he says the tip ain't cheat, the DICK ain't free, the dick ain't free. Again, this is a double because the tip could go onto that magazine. bar, right? Meaning the tip of bullets, like, you know, it's costly, deadly. But also that sexual, you know, personal cost there. So he's saying, listen, nothing is free when it comes to JID, right? There's nothing there. It's you know, and then he boasts of his value, and he boasts of, you know, his dominance both lyrically and personally. So far this is fire.
Bring no scare business.
That's just the first 4 lines. This is gonna be a long video.
Look,
Sorry,
please
guys.
don't bring no scare business to me. I fear no man, no hand holding banana clips, a chimpanzee to rip at me. The tip ain't cheap, the dick ain't free. I ain't no bitch, a bitch ain't me. I beat a beast, I been a beat. You been on me, you bet on me. Who better than me? You better believe it never could be. I'm ready to eat. They better get it ready for me.
Dude, he's spitting fire here. He's spitting fire here. He says, I ain't no bee, right? A bee ain't me. I beat up beats. That's such a nice play on words there. Sorry about my cough here, though. But so JID is rejecting any notion of weakness. Like, he's like, I'm not a bitach, right? I have my own unique identity, and it's not that. And if anybody's gonna get beat up like a bitch, it's gonna be me beating up the beats, which I love that, right? Which is a normal classical rap boast that happens, you know. But listen, he's like, listen, you give me any kind of instrumental track, you give me any kind of beat, and I'm gonna slay the thing. I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna be aggressive with it. I'm gonna be skillful with it. And I love that. And then he's still playing on that. He's like, I beat up beats. I been upbeat. You've been on me. So there's a whole play on words there, right? You bet on me. Who better than me? So again, upbeat refers to his positive mindset and his fast-paced flow. You know. He's like, again, you've been on me, suggests haters are fixating on him, you know, or even fans. Could be fans or haters, but it's probably haters. And he's like, listen, who better than me? Again, a rhetorical challenge, asserting that he is in the elite status, or the elite, you know, he's elevated to the top tier of the rap game, which I love that. And then he says, you better believe it. You better believe they could never be. I'm ready to eat. Again, he's reinforcing his unskilled rap abilities. You know, never could be that. He has this hunger for success. You know, and again, it's this animalistic theme that he's doing here. He's being a predator. He's, you know, it's the theme of predation, of ambition, and that's what he's talking about here. So again, fire. I'm glad I have the lyric video here, because I don't think I could break down this being sick and with the speed that he's doing on this. So let's jump this back a little further and go into this.
Chimpanzee to rip at me, the tip ain't cheap, the dick ain't free. I ain't no bitch, a bitch ain't me. I beat a beast, I been a beat. You been on me, you bet on me. Who better than me? You better believe it never could be. I'm ready to eat, they better get it ready for me. I'm killing the scene, they gotta get a medical team. The gun a machine, the tongue is a gun. They come with a bean, they come in the red, they come in the green.
Like I say, guys, I've been sick. So he says, they better get it ready for me. I'm killing the scene. So again, just like anybody else, JID, he's like, listen, I demand respect, you know? I'm killing the scene lyrically. This is who I am. I'm dominating the rap industry. That's what I do. And he's like, get it ready. He says, better get it ready, meaning that you better prepare for his, like, overwhelming impact. And then he says here, they gotta get a medical team, the gun a machine. And again, medical team means you need to recover from the damage that I'm about to impose on you. Gun machine also refers to like the machine gun, but also symbolizes like his rapid lyrical fire. Like he's spitting it out like a machine gun. So that's a double there. And then that ties into this whole, the tongue is a gun. It come with a beam. It come in a red. It come in a green. This is fire. This is fire. Okay. So his word tongue, meaning that his tongue, they're weaponized, right? With beam. Beam is like laser sight, right? He's emphasizing that whatever he spits, it's got precision. It's got lethality to it. It's got delivery. And it's always hitting the targets with accuracy. Okay? And then when he says it comes in red and it comes in green, again, you think about it, it's probably a double, because what colors are lasers typically? They're red or green, right? But what color is money? Money's green. You know, and what, you know, colors of like cash and power. You know, so he's extending the metaphor of weapons, his spitting, to signify like versatility and influence, which again, fire. This is fire. This is gonna kill me. And we haven't got to Eminem yet, and we're only on like second part of this verse or first one.
I fear no man, no hand holding banana clips, a chimpanzee to rip at me. The tip ain't cheap, the dick ain't free. I ain't no bitch, a bitch ain't me. I beat a beast, I been a beat. You been on me, you bet on me. Who better than me? You better believe it never could be. I'm ready to eat, they better get it ready for me. I'm killing the scene, they gotta get a medical team. The gun a machine, the tongue is a gun. They come with a bean, they come in the red, they come in the green. And somebody scared cause nobody seen it. Get him a bed and get him a king and get him a shed and give it a swing. I'm thinking of deadly things. Get a red drink, red rum, 15187.
That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. And somebody's scared because nobody's seen it. Meaning this. Listen, if you guys are going to come up against me, you're going to be my opponent. We know you're terrified because my skill is so overwhelming. It's almost invisible. It's like the speed of light, the speed of power. And it's catching JID's ability to spit is catching his enemies or his haters off guard. And then he says, get him a bed and get him a king and bows or bowsy and get him a machete. Is that what it says? Get him a bed, get him a king, and get him a machete. Okay. And wait, and somebody's scared because nobody's seen it. Get him a bed and get him a king and get him a machete. Sorry. I don't know what I'm saying here. So bed and king, obviously is a king-size bed, right? So implying that he's going to put his rival to rest, right? Defeating them, you know. But then again, you know, he says, and get him a machete, again, add the violent, high-quality edge, like a knife, right, to the metaphor, suggesting it's going to be a clean, powerful execution. He's just gonna kill them. And then he says, give it a swing, I think of deadly things, sipping the red... So sorry, guys. Give it a swing. I'm thinking of deadly things. Slipping the red drink, red rum, 151.87. Okay, so let's break this one down because this is again a powerful bar. Give it a swing, the swing of the machete, right? The deadly things. That's what he's talking about here. He's continuing with this aggressive imagery. Okay, now he's contemplating like, listen. Not only are you am I on a lyrical attack, but this is also going to be a physical attack. And then he's talking about drinking, right? Sipping the red drink, the red rum, right? Now, red drink, it could be a reference to like lean, like codeine-based drink, right? Or blood, trying to get red rum, murder spelled backwards, like The Shining, red rum, murder. You know, sipping the red drink, red rum, which is a red drink, but it's also murder spelled backwards, you know, and then, you know, which again goes into the, shout out to Mount Hood, Timberline Lodge, The Shining, Jack Nicholson, right, filmed out in Mount Hood, you know, but the stutter and the repetition amplify like the menacing tone here. And then he says the 15187 here. Referencing Bacardi 151, you know, which is a high proof liquor. And then it could be 1987, which is JID's birth, which we know that. Or, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's what that is. Maybe he's getting 87. But dude, this is fire. This is fire, dude. He's just spitting out.
Like, bed and get him a king and get him a shed and give it a gun. They come with a bean, they come in the red, they come in the green. And somebody scared cause nobody seen it. Get him a bed and get him a king and get him a shed and give it a swing. I'm thinking of deadly things. The red drink, red rum, 15187. Look a lie, little nigga, they been living a lie. I never believed this song instead of comply. The last thing I seen tried it, did it and died. Get a better disguise, you ain't figured it out. Niggas ain't.
Look alive, little N-word. They be living a lie. Okay? Again, he's calling back awareness here, you know, urging others to stay alert. The little N-word, what he's doing here is he's dismissing his rivals. He's accusing them of faking their personas for success, right? Look alive, little blank, been living a lie. So he's you guys are just fake, is what he's saying. And then he says, I never believed the song that said they could fly. Okay? Now, this is likely a metaphor here that he's talking about debunking the false bravado or claims of invincibility, possibly referencing R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly. Maybe to mock overconfidence there. I don't know. And then he says the last N word, I seen tried it, did it, and died. Okay? So he's giving a warning here. He's like, listen to me closely. Those who challenge my dominance, JID would say, or overestimate themselves they're going to fail fatally. They're going to, lyrically speaking, of course. And then he says, get a better disguise. You ain't figured it out. Meaning this. Rivals need to get a better facade to hide their weakness because they haven't grasped JID's superiority or the game's reality is what he's talking about here. So, dude, he's spitting this out. This is so good. This is so good.
They give it a swing, I'm thinking of deadly things. A red drink, red rum, 15187. Look a lie, little nigga, they been living a lie. I never believed the song instead of comply. The last nigga I seen tried it, did it and died. Get a better disguise, you ain't figured it out. Niggas ain't trying to get victimized. I got a pit in a clip and a sick the bar. Don't nobody wanna get sent to guard. A stick hit through the meat like a shish kebab. Take it over.
Sorry, I wish I was better, but I'm on the tail end of this thing. Okay, he says N-words ain't trying to get victimized. Okay, so he boasts that no one wants to be JID's, lyrical victim. Again, he's emphasizing that he's got this intimidating presence, which he does. And then he says, I got a pit and a clip, finna sick the boy. Don't nobody want to get sent to God. Now this one's fire because he's given a threat here. First, I got a pit, meaning a pit bull, or you'd say a clip is what he's saying, ammo, which, again, a pit bull, ammo, those are like ferocious attacks, right? With the sick boy, shout out to Ren, I know he's not shouting out Ren, but shout out to Ren, the sick boy, meaning I'm going to unleash the dogs, the dog on the foe, right? I'm going to fire, I have a trained dog that's designed, ready to kill, ready to attack. And he says, don't nobody want to get sent to God. Again, he's doing this scheme like, I'm going to lyrically devastate you. I'm going to cause destruction in your life. I'm going to murder you. It's going to be so so bad, so intense that it's going to be fatal, and I'm going to send my rivals to their maker. And then he says the stick hit through meat like a shish kebab. Again, dogs chase sticks. There's one of it, but a stick could be a weapon or a gun, right? That's what it is. The shish kebab has a stick, and again, this is creating that vivid imagery of like being pierced through, right? Devastating rhymes. It's going to cut through the opponents. So he is just lyrically like, I'm the one. Don't mess with me. You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
Instead of comply, the last nigga I seen tried it, did it and died. Get a better disguise, you ain't figured it out. Niggas ain't trying to get victimized. I got a pit in a clip and a sick the bar. Don't nobody wanna get sent to guard. A stick hit through the meat like a shish kebab. Take it out with the boss, man. I'm good at my job. It's not a walk in the park, cause I'm in a metropolis. I'm lost in the thought, but escaping the darkness. Caught the broad daylight, sun and parked it.
Whew. It almost sounded like K-Dot there for a little bit on the end there with the sun and parked it. Sorry, guys. I haven't been able to talk, so this has been good that I can at least talk this much. All right, take it up with the boss, man. I'm good at my job. So who's he talking about? Who's the boss man here? Well, I believe JID is saying that he himself is the boss man. He's the boss of rap. He's excelling in his craft. And challengers, if you're going to challenge, you're going to have to face the boss one day directly. And JID said, listen, I'm confident in my skills. So I don't know what you're going to do, but I've got this. And then he says, it's not a walk in the park because I'm in Metropolis, right? So he's contrasting like a nice, cool, day, a walk in the park with the complex, like competitive being in a metropolitan area. And that metropolitan area is the rap game here, and ultimately what I think he's saying here is like, listen, It's not a walk in the park where there's no stress and no pressure. I'm in the city. I'm in the metropolitan area where there's a lot of stress and pressure, and I thrive under the pressure. And then he says, I'm lost in a thought, but escape in the darkness, caught the broad day like sun and parted. So, dude, he's so deep. Like, his lyrics are so fire because he's navigating like deep introspection here, right? He's overcoming the struggles of darkness, you know, overcoming his personal struggles, overcoming societal struggles, you know, and he's doing this through his lyrical focus, you know, where he's able to shred his enemies, you know, caught the broad day, you know, daylight, the sun, right, means that he is bold and his success is visible, right? He's in the daylight. And then he says, part it, suggesting that he is settled very comfortably, you know, in his achievements. Dude. Let's keep going.
In a clip, finna stick the bar. Don't nobody wanna get sent to guard. A stick hit through the meat like a shish kebab. Take it out with the boss, man. I'm good at my job. It's not a walk in the park, cause I'm in a metropolis. I'm lost in the thought, but escaping the darkness. Caught the broad day like sun and parked it. Felt the force and found the flow, but faucet. Kept the course ahead, no matter the cost.
Gosh, that sounds like Kendrick Lamar right there. That flow, that's so good.
But escaping the darkness, caught the broad day like sun and parked it. Felt the force and found the flow, but faucet. Kept the course ahead, no matter the cost. I only eat what I kill, do away with the carcass. Monster dreadlockness, similar concepts.
Okay, let's break this one down. Told you it'd be a long video. Felt the force and found my flow, the faucet. Again, felt the force, right? What's that a nod to? Star Wars, the Force. Again, I found my lyrical flow, and he's linking it to water pouring out of the faucet, you know, which means this. Listen, when water's pouring, that's very natural, and it's unstoppable. Can't stop it. And then he says, I kept the course ahead no matter the cost, meaning I'm committed to the path. You know, I was underrated by obstacles or sacrifices, but listen, I've always shown resilience. I've overcome those obstacles. I only eat what I kill, do away with the carcass. Now this one's fire because, again, this is an animal. The song's called Animals. This is animal theme, so it's a predatory metaphor here. He's listen. I take what I earn, my lyrical victories. This is what he's talking about here, and I discard the remains, right, which are my defeated foes. And I mean, again, I do this myself. I don't need any help. And then he says, monsters, dreadlockness, similar concepts. Okay, so JID's monsters, his dreadlocks and because obviously he's got his dreads, they're like his dreadlocks are like the monstrous skills that he have in this song. In the song's animalistic dominant theme, right? Meaning this, like, listen, you can't take away my persona. I'm the real thing here, you know, and my lyrical ability is going to just cut through anything, you know. So this is fire. This is fire.
I'm in a metropolis, I'm lost in the thought, escaping the darkness, caught the broad day like sun and parked it. Felt the force and found the flow, but faucet. Kept the course ahead, no matter the cost. I only eat what I kill, do away with the carcass. Monster dreadlockness, similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man, I had to get into the game again. I see it.
What was that just said there?
Similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man. With the carcass, monster dreadlockness, similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a
A dreadlock Loch Ness monster? Oh, that's a Loch Ness monster dreadlock. Oh, that's fire.
do away with the carcass, monster dreadlockness, similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man, I had to get it.
So he's like the Loch Ness monster. He's elusive. Dude, that's fire. Okay, let's go down into this one.
Monster dreadlockness, similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man, I had to get into the game again. I'm seeing the lights, I'm looking at the lay of the land. I make a man like I'm Jaden Daniels, breaking in, can't evade the van. No nigga save the scandal, service candle lit, cause your man a bitch. I tried to understand, but I'm lacking the bandwidth. A rock in a hard place, cracking a sandwich. The cards I was handed, it turned me to gambit. It made me the man, but it turned me to man, saying son of a man, max, minimum chances. Shaking the hand, white man, taking the taxis. Suit and tie, now fly right in the backseat of a taxi. I feel like Tyrese Maxey, I'm a zone 6, sir, but I'm hell of an athlete doing the rap shit. Take a look at the rap sheet, niggas are random rat shit. Hit with a black queen, Angela Bassett. Put a tab of acid on your tongue. I ain't never taking a bump, but I can put it in the package. You give me a lump song, to put it in the bag, in the back of a trunk. I heard thump, thump, thump. Banging the bass, I'm bringing the bread to breakfast, I'm bringing the bacon, slinging the sausage, cracking the egg over your face. I'm half amazing, half man, and half alien. Patience, paper thin.
All right, let's break that down. Let's go back. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Felt the force.
Similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man, I had to get into the game again. I'm seeing the lights, I'm looking at the lay of the land. I make a man like I'm Jaden Daniels, breaking in, can't evade the van. No nigga save the scandal, service candle.
All right. He says, I'm a crazy man. I had to get into the game again. Again, he's intense with his flow. He's almost like unhinged here. He's driving past all of his haters, right? And he's pushing back into the rap game with like a renewed like vigor, new intensity, right? Meaning he's relentless to get back into the spotlight. He's not playing games here. He says, I'm seeing the lights. I'm looking at the lay of the land. Again, lights, what do they refer to here? Fame or attention, right? While the lay of the land, what's that referred to? It means that JID's looking, he's made an assessment of the rap industry's like landscape, and he's ready to do his thing. And then he says, I'm in command like I'm Jaden Daniels breaking in. Such cool reference here. Hashtag to the quarterback. Jaden, who's known, I believe he's known for like his leadership, his skills. Again, JID saying, listen, I'm in control. I'm gonna break through in a dominant way in this rap game. And he's like, you can't evade the vandal, inward, save the scandal. Again, JID's like lyrical destruction here is like a vandal's chaos, right? When he says save the scandal, he's dismissing the drama, and he's focusing on his ability to his artistry, his lyricism to overcome that gossip. So again, he is spitting bars here.
Similar concepts.
Dreadlockness monster.
I'm a crazy man, I had to get into the game again. I'm seeing the lights, I'm looking at the lay of the land. I make a man like I'm Jaden Daniels, breaking in, can't evade the van. No nigga save the scandal, service candle lit, cause your man a bitch. I tried to understand, but I'm lacking the bandwidth. A rock in a hard place, cracking a sandwich. The cards I was handed, it turned me to gambit. It made me the man.
I love that. I love that. Surface candle, cause your man's a BIT. Cha. You know, he's lighting the candle like a vigil, right? He's mocking his weak rivals. He's like implying that they're irrelevant, that they're going down in demise, you know. And he's calling, you know, a female dog in heat here. And he says, I try to understand, but I'm lacking the bandwidth, you know. He's like, I can't understand the energy of the weak. I don't get it. Like, you know, my opponents, you know, they're so focused on my greatness, but they're so weak, you know. And again, bandwidth is obviously the metaphor for Wi-Fi bandwidth computers, but also for mental capacity. So that's a cool double there. He says, a rock in a hard place, crack in a sandwich. Again, a twist on the rock in the hard place here, which means to be stuck, but a crack in the sandwich adds that playful, gritty image of like breaking through or causing disruption. And then he says the cards I was handed determine the gambit, okay? Meaning that JID's life circumstances, the cards he's been dealt with, shaped his bold strategy. And gambit is a chess term, you know, which is like a risky but a calculated move. And so he's just, again, he's telling you his story, like he's in this to win this, and no one's going to overcome his lyrical assaults, because he is the head of, you know, obviously there's M2 that's on the track, but he's the head of this. Why is this all?
Try to understand, but I'm lacking the bandwidth. A rock in a hard place, cracking
it. Hold on here.
Sandwich, the cards I was handed, determined again, cause you're man a bitch. I tried to understand, but I'm lacking the bandwidth. A rock in a hard place, cracking a sandwich. The cards I was handed, determined again, bit. It made me the man, but it turned me to man, saying son of a man, max minimal chances. Shaking the hand, white man, taking the taxis, suit and tie, now fly right in the backseat of a taxi.
Dude, that's such a fire bar there. It made me the man. So my struggle, all these things I've done have, the cards I was given made me the man, but it turned me to Manson. So my struggles, listen to me, they've given me strength, but they've also turned me Charles Manson-like. I've got this cool charisma, but there's danger on the side of that. Like I'm a psychopath behind the scenes kind of thing. And again, then he plays on the Manson bar with son of a madman, Max, minimal chances. Again, son of a madman ties to Manson, Charles Manson. But Max also ties to Mad Max, which means that, listen, he said, I'm a chaotic survivor. There's minimal chances. Again, that's going to highlight that JID's he's fought against the odds. He's come against that. And then he says, shaking the hand, white man takes to taxes, suit and tie, not fly, ride in a backseat of a taxi. So again, and I love this because he's taking a jab at, the systematic exploitation where the white man, I believe, is symbolizing the institutional power. They take profits off, they take our profits, his profits in this sense, and take them like taxes. Again, reflecting on the economic struggle that probably he's had and many artists have had, many people have had. And then he says, suit and tie, not fly, right in the basket right in the back, can't talk, ride in a backseat of a taxi. So he's painting this like I'm grounded, this image of being grounded, right? Being dressed formally, like suit and tie, not flashy but fly, right? That's what he's saying here. Suit and tie, not fly, but he's just there, he's just chilling, and he's riding humbly in the back of a taxi, which to me is a contrast of what the typical rappers boast about, lives of luxury, and he's talking about like living a life of often, being authentic versus just being a social media fraud is what he's doing. Like I'm not putting on this facade. This is who I am. Again, a fire bar.
In a bandwidth, a rock in a hard place, cracking a sandwich. The cards I was handed, it turned me to gambit. It made me the man, but it turned me to man, saying son of a man, max minimal chances. Shaking the hand, white man, taking the taxis, suit and tie, now fly right in the backseat of a taxi. I feel like Tyrese Maxey, I'm a zone sixer, but I'm hell of an athlete doing the rap shit. Take a look at the rap sheet, niggas are random rap shit. Hit with a black queen, Angela Bassett. Put a tab of acid on your tongue. I ain't never taking a bone, but I can put it in the packaging.
Dude, he's so good lyrically. He's so good. He's comparing himself to Maxie here, right? And who's Maxie? I believe that's a guard from the 76ers, which is what, Philadelphia? And what he's talking about here is he's like, I've got agility and I've got skill. I've got ability, right? And again, I feel like Tyrese Maxey, a zone sixer. Zone sixer references Atlanta's zone 6, which his hometown. And he says, but I'm a hell of an athlete, which again, he's boasting about his prowess and his versatility in the rap game. And then he says, doing the rap crap. Sorry, I don't cuss. Take a look at the rap sheet. Okay, so rap crap is his craft, and rap sheet is his criminal record. So it's a double there, right? Rap craft, rap, criminal record, rap that, right? So he's like, look at my lyrical record. Okay, it's extensive, it's notorious, just like a criminal's. And then he says, inward random, ratchet, here with a black queen. So, let me think on this one for a minute, because I think JID's talking about like the random like the low, chaotic, the ratchet. So I think he's dismissing that, right? He's dismissing those people, but he's also elevating his partner, the Black Queen, which is a nod to like loyalty, a nod to strength, a nod to royalty. And he's setting a contrast between like the circle that he's in versus the haters or those who want to detract him from his mission. And then he says, Angela Bassett put a tab of acid on your tongue. Okay, so he's referencing an actress here, right? Angela. And then he elevates his Black Queen at the same time to an iconic status. So, and then he says tab of acid, meaning like it's suggesting like this psychedelic, right? This is what acid does. This mind-altering experience, possibly like referring to his like rhyming influences, is the way he gives it all out. His lyrical, like he's out there lyrically, like you can't control that. So again, he is just doubles and doubles and triples and doubles here, and I love it. I love this. I'm here for it. I'm here for this.
In the backseat of a taxi, I feel like Tyrese Maxey. I'm on 6, sir, but I'm hell of an athlete doing the rap shit. Take a look at the rap sheet, niggas are random rap shit. Hit with a Black Queen, Angela Bassett. Put a tab of acid on your tongue. I ain't never taking a bump, but I can put it in the package. You give me a lump song to put it in the bag of a trunk. I heard thump, 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 banging the bass. I'm breaking the bread to breakfast.
This is gonna be a long video. I can't help it. We're only a minute 19 in, and oh my gosh, we're never gonna finish this song. We're never gonna finish this song. Sorry guys, you guys I don't think I'm gonna get many views on this one, but I don't care because I gotta break this down. I ain't never taken a bump. Okay, saying, listen, I don't do drugs. Okay, I don't do like cocaine. I'm not doing a bump. I keep my clarity and my focus, which again distinguishes him from like those who live a reckless lifestyle. He says, but I can put it in a package and give me a lump sum. This is fire because he can package, he can sell or deliver, right? Meaning referring to his product, like his rhymes, his hustle. That's what he's doing here, for a large payment, lump sum, showcasing that he's not only a lyrical assassin, but he's a businessman. Then he says, then put it in a bag in the back of the trunk. He's talking about this hustler metaphor. That's what he's using here. His product, his rhymes, right? He's doing that, and he's like, he says, I'm gonna take my rhymes like goods. I'm gonna put it in the car of the trunk, and again, I'm gonna go and do my secretive deals. I'm gonna be streetwise on this. And then he says, I heard thump, 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 banging on the bass. Okay, so I think the thump that he's doing here is mimicking the bass sound, which is really cool. But it's the music from the trunk, right? He's trying to hustle his music. He's trying to hustle his impact. He's trying to create a auditory image here, and I just love that. I love that he's doing this.
Rap sheet, nigga, random rap shit. Hit with a Black Queen, Angela Bassett. Put a tab of acid on your tongue. I ain't never taking a bump, but I can put it in the package. You give me a lump song to put it in the bag of a trunk. I heard thump, 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 banging the bass. I'm breaking the bread to breakfast. I'm bringing the bacon, slinging the sausage, cracking the egg over your face. I'm half amazing, half man, and half alien. Patience, paper thin. I plant a flag in every place.
Okay, I'm breaking bread. I'm breaking the bread, the breakfast. I'm bringing the bacon. So that's a cool thing. Breaking the bread means I'm sharing the wealth, right? But also it's the double because of, breakfast, bacon. Bacon also being wealth, but also being breakfast here. So it's extended metaphor to he's providing sustenance, which is success and money. So he's emphasizing that, listen, I'm a provider. That's what he's talking about. But he's staying on this breakfast scheme here, slanging the sausage, cracking the egg over your face, which I love that because that whole imagery there of breakfast. But slanging the sausage is playful slang for like I'm hustling. While cracking the egg over your face, it means I'm humiliating my rivals at the same time. I'm leaving them embarrassed. So that's that. And then he says, I'm half amazed, half man, and half alien. Okay? So he's saying, listen, my skill sets are out of this world, right? I'm half amazing. So I'm half amazing because like I'm half human. which means you could relate to me. I'm better than other. I'm like this unworldly talent is what he's saying here. Okay, half alien means listen, I'm unique. I've got this lyrical prowess that is just beyond anything in this world. So fire.
Song to put it in the bag in the back of a truck. I heard thump, 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 banging the bass. I'm breaking the bread to breakfast, bringing the bacon, slinging the sausage, cracking the egg over your face. I'm half amazing, half man and half alien. Patience, paper thin. I plant a flag in every place I'm in. Pace has been immense. It's not a race, but I've been chasing it. Been unforsaken, only placing faith in the hands that turn a staff into a snake and then a snake into a staff again.
Dude, that's fire. That's fire. Okay. Yeah, patience, been paper thin. I plant a flag in every place I'm in. Again, this is going on that alien theme, right? He's going to go on to like you put a flag on the moon kind of thing. Yeah, but his patience is thin, meaning it's urgent, it's driven, you know? And everywhere he goes when he plants that flag, it's like dominance, right? Every space I enter, I conquer. That whole alien scheme there. He says, your patience been paper thin. Oh, sorry, I just did that. Pace has been immense. It's not a race, but I've been chasing it. Meaning that my work is intense, you know? I work really hard, you know? And though life's not a competition, he says, it's not a race, I'm pursuing success relentlessly. And then he says, been unforsaken, only placing in the hands that turn the staff into a snake, and then the snake into a staff again. Okay? So unforsaken, obviously we know what that means. It means that we've been abandoned, you know. I've been like, when you've been forsaken, people have abandoned you. I'm unforsaken, meaning this, that I work hard regardless of the resistance I get, right? I'm resilient despite hardships, you know? And though, and again, when he's talking about unforsaken place, you know, been unforsaken, only placing faith in my hands that turned the staff into a snake. That's a reference to Exodus, the book of Moses. I believe it's chapter 7, right around verse like 8, 9, 10, 11, right around there, where God turned the staff into a snake. And again, it's talking about like the divine giving transformative power. And then he says, and then the snake into a staff again. That's what happened in that story. Moses threw down his rod, it turned into a snake, then he picked it back up and it turned into a rod, back into a rod again. And again, what I think JID is doing here, he's like, listen, I'm in control. I have the mastered skills here. You know, I've got the ability to transform all of my challenges into strengths. This is what I do. And I've got, you know, powers from out of this world. Again, making that biblical reference, but also that space reference and bringing all that together. So, again, fire here. Let's kick this back a couple because this is fire. Fire, fire, fire.
The sausage cracking the egg over your face. I'm half amazing, half man and half alien. Patience, paper thin. I plant a flag in every place I'm in. Pace has been immense. It's not a race, but I've been chasing it. Been unforsaken, only placing faith in the hands that turn a staff into a snake and then a snake into a staff again. The average couldn't start to establish the type of bag I'm in. The napkins, East Atlanta. Rapping erratic, righteous and ratchet, cause that's what's happening. Yelling from the mountain so loud it could start an avalanche. We in Babylon, by the way you brother be babbling, you out of chances. I can't overextend the olive branch. Fuck the bargaining, we barging in. Let the car spin. Push a Porsche with a 911 like a Micah Parsons. When attacking a target, have a sack when they sent the blitz. It's a rapid departure, real rappers cease to exist. Like it's open season, soon as they seen him, it's oh shit. Bow, bow, 8-1 like Kobe in 06. Head bow. Pray for him while you load this 45th.
Fire.
23, he ain't started, but hit the Jordan with the pip and assist. Another plot is just a twist in the script. If we beefing, let's get into some old biblical shit. Ain't no tweeting, see goodnight, and then proceed with a kiss. For the dead, watch for the threads. Niggas can't bleed on my fit. Put the bill, now we even Stevie, keep Stephen A. Smith in the West. Fuck all that scream shit and beating your chest. Mama said mentality breeds into a seed of success, and I'm between it, but best believe I ain't perceiving no threats. With allegiance aligned alliance. Leave me out of y'all shit, I'm a lion. I'm lying, relax. You know the facts of the sleeping giant, align me with that. Nigga Goliath's a bitch, hit with a rock in a sack.
Dude,
My
there's
nigga
so many
ride with a
schemes
stick,
here.
flipping a rock in a way. Nothing too hard to predict. No shit been hard where you at, but if I lost you, then I bring it back. I beat up a beat like a drum.
Oh, we're not ready for you, M. We're not ready for you, M. Stay there. Let's break this down. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're way back here. Let's see here. Okay, I think this is where we're at because we left off here, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's get up
To
here.
a snake and then a snake into a staff again. The average couldn't start to establish the type of bag of man. The nappy is East Atlanta. Rapping erratic, righteous and ratchet, cause that's what's happening. Yelling from the mountain so loud it could start an avalanche. We
All right, let's break this down. So the average couldn't start to establish the type of bag I'm in. Okay, bag obviously meaning his wealth and success, meaning that his JID's level is unattainable for the average rapper because he's the elite is what he's talking about here. And then he says the nappiest, East Atlanta. Nappiest refers to his dreadlocks, I believe, and his gritty, like being authenticity. And it's rooted in East Atlanta, right? Zone 6, which is grounding for his identity. And then he says rapping erotic, righteous and ratchet, cause that what's happening. So again, his style is unpredictable, right? It's erratic. It's morally grounded. It's righteous. That part's true, but it's also streetwise. It's ratchet, and it's reflecting his like his complexity it's like the complexity of his reality. And then he says, yelling from the mountain so loud it could start an avalanche, meaning that listen, my voice, JID saying it is powerful. It's metaphorically like I'm shouting from the heights to cause an avalanche, like a massive impact, right? I'm disrupting the status quo is what he's saying here. And then he says, we in Babylon. Wait, that's the next line here. Yeah, this is the next one.
We in Babylon by the way you brother.
Back.
Atlanta. Rapping erratic, righteous and ratchet, cause that's what's happening. Yelling from the mountain so loud it could start an avalanche. We in Babylon by the way you brother. Be babbling you out of chances. I can't overextend the olive branch. Fuck the bargaining, we barging in. Let the car spin. Push a Porsche with the 911 like.
All right. So we in Babylon by the way you brother be babbling. So Babylon symbolizes, it's a biblical thing right here. It's a corrupt and chaotic society, biblical term here. And what he's doing, what he's doing here is he's calling out his rivals. Like you guys got meaningless talk. It's just babble, and he's contrasting their babble because you have the Tower of Babel, and then you have Babylon, right? And then you have Babylon, so Babylon, which is a fire play on words there. But he's contrasting like their blah blah blah, their yap with his purposeful rhymes. And then he says here, you out of chances, I can't overextend a olive branch. And again, Babylon, biblical, olive branch would be Israel. There's another biblical scheme there, and there's rivals between Babylon and Israel. But he's like, listen, rivals have exhausted their opportunities for peace, because olive branch is I'm giving you a chance for peace, but it's also, a very biblical rhyme scheme that he's doing here. And he's like, listen, JD saying, I'm not going to offer any more leniency. Like, I'm standing firm on my ground here. And then he says, F the bargaining, we bargain in, let the car spin. Okay? So I'm not going to negotiate anymore. The bargaining's over. We we're not going to bargain or bargain it. Okay? So and again, bargain, F the bargain in, we bargain it, let the car spin. Meaning, listen, I'm going to get reckless now. My rival here is reckless. And then he says, push a Porsche with a 911 like I'm Micah Parsons. Now, this is fire, okay? So he's driving a Porsche like a Gap, right? Like a 9mm, right? 911. But he's push a Porsche with a 911, but with a 9 and a 911. So call the police kind of thing here. But then he likens it to the NFL star Micah Parsons, was known for his aggressive defense, right? And he said, listen, my lyrics, is what JID's saying, are precise and they're forceful. That's what he's saying here.
Branch, fuck the bargaining, we barging in. Let the car spin. Push a Porsche with a 911 like a Micah Parsons. When attacking a target, have a sack when they sent the blitz. It's a rapid departure, real rappers cease to exist. Like it's open season, soon as they seen him, it's oh shit. Bow, bow, 8-1 like Kobe in 06.
Oh, 81. That was a game. I saw that game. Wish I was there, but I wasn't there. But I wish I was there. That would have been fire. Okay, so he says, when attacking a target, half a sack when they sent the blitz. So now we got the football scheme here, right? Again, obviously, if you know your football, what's a blitz? It's an aggressive play where they just go and they blitz the quarterback. Okay, and JD's countering his rival's attacks, achieving. I was like, is my dog barking? I think she is. She's bouncing there. With like half a sack, like they've got partial success, but he maintains control, is what he's saying here. And then he said, it's a rapid departure. Real rappers cease to exist, And I don't know if he's paying homage to like the old school, shout out to like Pac and, Biggie and those ones that are no longer there. But I think it's more than that. I think he's talking about like my dominance, JD would say, is causing rapid departure or lesser rappers, that they're just not able to keep up in the modern rap game. So, and then he says, like it's open season, soon as they see him, it's oh crap, right? So rivals panic when they see a JID, as if it's like, he's the hunter and it's open season and they're the targets. His presence instills fear in them. And then he says, it's really cool. I love this bar. Bow, bow, 8-1 like Kobe in 06, okay? Now, the bow, bow, I think, is mimicking the gunshots because that's what he's talking about here. 8-1 references Kobe's Black Mamba's 81-point game in 2006, meaning that JID's at the peak of his career. This is the peak of his performance. That's where he's at. So, rest in peace, Kobe. I miss that guy.
When they sent the blitz, it's a rapid departure, real rappers cease to exist. Like it's open season, soon as they seen him, it's oh shit. Bow, bow, 8-1 like Kobe in 06. Head bow, pray for him while you load this 45th. 23, he ain't started, but hit the Jordan with the Pippen assist. Another plotter just to twist in the script.
Pippen.
If we beefing, let's get into some old biblical shit. Ain't no tweeting.
Now he's on this whole basketball scheme. Jordan and Pippen, Chicago Bulls, right? But he's still on this biblical scheme too, right? Head bowed, pray for him while you load the 45th. So the dual image here is I'm praying for my defeated rivals, but also loading my 45. He's blending like spirituality with like being a menace. And then he says, 23, y'all ain't started. Who's 23? That was Jordan, right? But hit the Jordan with the pipe and assist. Okay, so he's making that reference to Michael Jordan's jersey, number 23. And he's like, listen, JD suggests that rivals haven't even begun to compete yet, is what he's saying. And so while he's delivering his attacks like Michael Jordan, with a Scottie Pippen assist is what he's talking about here. He's talking about like I've got this teamwork, probably referencing M here, but we've got teamwork with precision. We're here on the attack. And then he says another plot is just a twist in the script. Okay? So conflicts and challenges are just plots and twists is all he's saying here, suggesting that it's easy to navigate with his skill set. and then he says, if we beefing, let's get into some old biblical crap. Okay? So a feud with JID is going to escalate into epic biblical proportions, suggesting like this intense, almost like divine retribution. So, dude, he is spitting fire. We're only 2 minutes in.
45th, 23, you ain't started, but hit the Jordan with the pip and assist. Another plotter, just a twist in the script. If we beefing, let's get into some old biblical shit. Ain't no tweeting, see goodnight, and then proceed with a kiss. For the dead, watch for the thread. Another plotter, just a twist in the script. If we beefing, let's get into some old biblical shit. Ain't no tweeting, see goodnight, and then proceed with a kiss. For the dead, watch for the threads. Niggas can't bleed on my fit. Put the bed, now we even Steve and keep Stephen A. Smith and the West. Fuck all that scream shit and beat in your chest. Mama.
This is fire. This is fire. All right. So ain't no tweeting. See you. Good night. And then proceed with the kiss. So he rejects social media beefs like the tweeting whole thing right here. That's what he's talking about. Ain't no tweeting. I'm not gonna tweet. He handles his conflicts directly, you know. And with good night and kiss, he's like, listen, you don't want this because I'm going to give you a fatal blow. I'm gonna knock you out. It's gonna be a good night kiss, right? He's mocking the end of his revivals. And then he says, for the dead watch the threads, inward can't bleed on my fit. So for the dead, the fallen heroes are the allies, right? While threads would be closed, they can't bleed on my fit, mean that he stays clean, untouched by his conflicts, by his by any conflicts mess. And then he says, put to bed, now even Stephen, keep a Stephen A. Smith and a Wes F all that screaming crap and beating your chest. So 2 things here is Eminem puts to bed, right? Defeats rivals. Evening the score, even Stephen, right? That's what we're talking about. You know, it's even Stephen. But also Stephen A. Smith, who's allowed I want to say obnoxious sports commentator, but that represents the same as Eminem's bold, outspoken confidence, you know. And I believe that's what he's saying there. And then he says, "And a Wes, F all that screaming and beating your chest." Wes, I think he's talking about. Is it Wes Khalifa? Maybe that's who it is. And Wes Khalifa is. Whose producer is that? That's Lil Wayne's producer. And then he says, dismissing loud bravado, I mean, I'm screaming crap, right? And I'm going in for the authentic kills, what he's talking about. I'm rejecting empty posturing is what he's saying here. And so, again, fire.
Steve keep Stephen A. Smith and the West. Fuck all that scream shit and beat in your chest. Mama said mentality breeds into a seed of success, and I'm between it, but best believe I ain't perceiving no threats. With allegiance alliance, leave me out of y'all shit. I'm lying, relax. You know the facts.
Okay, let's break this one down. Mama says mentally breathes into a seed of success. And I love this because I believe he's talking about M, and M says that how his mom's wisdom, I think M said his mom's wisdom, like a strong mentality, like it plants a seed for success, meaning that it's gonna, like he's highlighting like his mental discipline. And then he says, and I'm between it, but best believe I ain't perceiving no threats. And again, going to that whole that basketball scheme, that football scheme, the sports analogy scheme. He's like, I'm in the zone. Not just zone 6, but I'm in the zone. Okay, I'm there. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm confident. I'm unfazed by conflict or challenges. I'm dismissing any threats outright. And then he says, with alliance, leave me out of your crap. I'm a lion. I'm lying. Relax. Okay, so talking about, listen, M demands loyalty, right? Allegiance, alliance, but wants no part of the drama. So he's asserting his lion status. Why am I saying M? We're on JID. We're on JID. JID. You know why? Because I know M's verse is coming up. That's why I'm saying that. Oh, I'm saying M. So JID credits his mother, not M. I don't know why I'm saying that, because M hated his mother. JID demands loyalty. And JID, sorry, I know M's verse is coming up, and I'm just like, here we go. I'm lying, relax. Okay, again, there's a play on words here, right? I'm not really relaxed. I'm a sleeping giant is what he's saying. I'm dormant, but I'm dangerous. Geez, why? Oh, here comes M. Here we go. M's already in my head. I can't believe it.
To a seed of success, and I'm between it, but best believe I ain't perceiving no threats. With allegiance, alliance, leave me out of y'all shit. I'm lying, relax. You know the facts of the sleeping giant, align me with that. Nigga, Goliath's a bitch, hit with a rock in a sack. My nigga ride with a stick, flipping a rock in a way. Nothing too hard to predict. No shit been hard where you at, but if I lost you, then I bring it back. I'll beat up a beat like a...
No, we're not ready for you. Let's break this last part down here. Okay. I'm a lion, relax. Okay. You know the facts of the sleeping giant, align me with that. Inward Goliath. Inward Goliath, a B-I-T, hit with a rock and a sack. So let's just break this down here, because we're just about done here. So he's like, align me with that. I'm Goliath, a blank, right? So he's echoing... JID is echoing like David and Goliath metaphor, and he's claiming he's going to have easy victory over the giants, reinforcing that he's going to overcome like major challenges. And he says, "My inward ride with a stick, flipping a rock. Oh wait. Okay, so he's carrying, his allies carry a gun, his stick. He hustles, flipping the rock. Pause, and then he's pausing, I think, for a dramatic effect here. And then he says, what's his next thing?
Hit with a rock in a sack. My nigga ride with a stick, flipping a rock in a way. Nothing too hard to predict. No shit been hard.
Yeah, nothing too hard to predict. The stuff's been too hard. Where you at? But if I lost you, then I bring it back. So he's acknowledging that life's that life is if anything's predictable in life, it's going to be struggles, right? That's what it's going to be. It's hard where you at. And he's emphasizing with the grind, and he's like sympathizing with that. And he says, and if you're lost, but if I lost you, if I've lost your attention or connection, then I'm going to reclaim it back with my skill, meaning that my endurance, my impact endures. So, okay. All right, let's go to this M verse who's already in my head. My
nigga ride with a stick, flipping a rock in a way. Nothing too hard to predict. No shit been hard where you at, but if I lost you, then I bring it back. I beat up a beat like a drum machine, get something to me. You don't wanna go and bump into me. I jump in the beat so comfortably. I'm not comfortable with no conflict. I'm comfortable. Give me them horns, give me that rose bush, give me them thorns. I'm another breed, I'm a different animal. Y'all make me all like a strandable. I'm intangible, but your hands are full. Angel low on the pants are pulled all the way down to your ankles. You getting spanked and I'm your father. Soldier, I'm a soldier. I just showed up in a white beat of taking. I'm a demolished. I always said, but I didn't have a dime to my name and lived as follow. If I had 3 quarters, 2 dimes and a nickel, I wouldn't change for $1. But I signed 50 sitting, put them in my bank and I ain't apologize to you for what the fuck I do. My advice to you, get 5 bazookas, some type of nuke, a knife, a ruka, decisive 2 guns, cause I'm spraying the Rossi like I'm NWA in the posse, just like Killer and Dre.
Shout out!
Man, look at all the mayhem causing, that's probably why I stay in the hot seat. But these magazines that act out like gay and his cousin, no cocksucker around spraying and busting.
More shout outs.
Stop saying it doesn't. That's probably the reason there's nothing. You body the reason. I feel like I just walked in and seen you naked, cause you not even decent. Get ripped like Moscow clothing, like a sleeping cow. I'm bulldozing a rap god since my socks were holy. Was on that block like a soccer goalie. Mocking, knocking, show me glass, I'm toting, locking, loading, rockin', rolling, rock-a-rolling, guacamole, massacholi, like to slow you out of pocket, homie. Y'all only hope to catch the flow, but if you know, I told your host to slow your rolls before you go and throw your whole career up in the toilet bowl. Enjoy the go. This is my house, a horse like a brothel. I don't put Ja Rule, do it like law school.
Ja Rule.
I'm awful. So many flags in Belgium, got a waffle. In fact, you would hate my walls, they're awful. They call me Marshall, but I'm unlawful. Sick around horse day or deja vu, won't stop, period. Postmenopausal.
Fire.
Go so postal that most postmenopause, I'll slaughter the rhyme. These flows in a boggle the mind. Y'all get a line, you're talking to Einstein. Fuck walking the line, I'm jogging it. I'm a cross between a dog and a juvenilist. Motherfucking childish funk, and I be popping the most wildest junk. And I'm known as the prick that's not the fuck with. Call me erectile dysfunction, my ballistic missile. Haunting and wildin' like 7 Mile in running. Bunch of violent gunmen, I do it like Puff do it. Tell my hitters to hit 'em up, do it. So like my middle fingers to a 2-box song, you know that I put 'em up to it. 12 gauge at the age of 12 case of self-rage. I've been raising hell like I'm Toe Jam Master J, and their race itself is about to
be a fucking shootout like the OK Corral. Bounty on me like a paper towel. They want me to go on the straight and narrow like the same shape that they make an arrow. Never sell out for the fame and well-paid Chappelle to the rap game. I'm never gonna play myself closest I ever came. Take my motherfucking pain I felt when I lost proof. Couldn't explain how that devil came down. Then it one valley swoop. Look at how foul he stooped. Had to throw in that towel. Regroup like Sean O'Malley. Still at Mally. Use this here to finale. Try to rally troops. Fit around up and corral recruits. But no matter how many you tally to surround these two, you can fuck around and find out just what the fuck we about when you see how we shoot. And I ain't talking about how we hoop when you lay up in the motherfucking alley hoops. It's like a Xanadu for every Xanadu. What I plan to do is take a peek and a blue hand of you. To me, I brutally damage you. I could never stand to losing bananas. You motherfuckers can't do it sicker than I do. You couldn't get rid of this shit with Tamiflu cannibals. You little bitch, me and JID, just like bestiality. We fucking animals. I'm backing them, body bagging them, toe tagging them in the back of the Volkswagen and dragging them whole backs and I'm throat gagging them till I get thrown back in the paddy wagon, the back on the Prozac. And I know that, but I'm so bad with a notepad that it don't matter. The ghost back finna go at anyone who got the gonads to the home ass. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this video's gonna be like 12 hours long. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get over here. Where are we at? Come on, M. Let's see. Oh, I should have time-stamped this thing. I do know it says start. I beat up the beat. I think that's where it starts. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, let's break this down.
No shit been hard where you at, but if I lost you, then I bring it back.
I beat up a beat like a drum machine, get something to me. You don't wanna go and bump into me. I jump in the beat so comfortably. I'm not comfortable with no conflict. I'm comfortable.
Let's go back there. All right. Sorry, this is probably gonna bore a lot of you guys, but I like breaking these things down because they just, I love the art of like hip hop and lyricism. Can't even talk and say lyric. And I just love it. So I know this video's not gonna be for everybody, but I enjoy this. So I beat up a beat like a drum machine did something to me. So again, now we're talking about M. He's already in my head, so let's talk about him. M opens up like about how he aggressively dominates any of the beats, any of the instrumentals, right? As if he's a drum machine, like as if the drum machine has like pushed his buttons, right? Provoked him personally, and I think like he uses this violent imagery to set up his scheme here. Again, talking about his lyrical destruction, and again echoing what JID's earlier boasts were about his lyrical destruction. He says, "You don't want to go and bump into me. I jump into beef so comfortably." Again, bump into me implies like crossing him is dangerous, but it's also bumping the beat, right? So he's embracing he embraces the beat, but he also embraces the beef with ease, right? He's showcasing his confidence and how he's always battle ready. And then he says, "I'm not comfortable with no conflict. I've come for the bowl." So again, here's a double negative here where he's flipping the meaning that he wants to that he thrives on conflict, right? Come for the bull is like a reference is a bull, like an animal, like you're gonna challenge a bull. But he's trying to talk about how the song he's using the animal theme here, and he's like, listen, I'm aggressive in my pursuit of my rivals, is what he's saying here. So let's kick this back.
No shit been hard where you at, but if I lost you, then I bring it back.
I beat up a beat like a drum machine, get something to me. You don't wanna go and bump into me. I jump in the beat so comfortably. I'm not comfortable with no conflict. I'm comfortable. Give me them horns, give me that rose bush, give me them thorns. I'm another breed, I'm a different animal. Y'all make me all like a strand of I'm intangible. Give me that.
Give me them horns. Give me that rose. Give me them thorns. Horns. I'm going to take the bull's horns, what he's talking about here. Rose bush thorns, meaning that there's danger in beauty. Meaning, like he's demanding all challenges. And he's talking about, listen, there's going to be painful consequences if you challenge me. And I'm fearless, is what he's talking about here. And he says, y'all make me yawn like a strand of wool, like yarn. Y'all make me yarn like a strand of wool turns into yarn. So there's a nice double there. But you make me yawn. I'm bored with you is what he's saying. What he's saying here. So that's fire there. And again, I'm another breed, another animal. The line above it. you know, I'm a different animal. In the rap game, I'm animalistic, like this song is, right? So again, just fire.
Bush, give me them thorns, I'm another breed, I'm a different animal. Y'all make me all niggas random.
So I mean,
You don't wanna go and bump into me. I jump in the beef so comfortably. I'm not comfortable with no conflict. I'm comfortable. Give me them horns, give me that Ross Bush, give me them thorns. I'm another breed, I'm a different animal. Y'all make me all niggas random. I'm intangible, but your hands are full. Angel low, I'm the pants are pulled all the way down to your ankles. You getting spanked and I'm your father. Told ya I'm a soldier. I just showed up in a white beat to take and I'm a demolish. I always say,
dude, that's so fire. I'm intangible, but your hands are full. You know, my skills are untouchable. They're intangible, and yet all of his rivals are overwhelmed because no one wants to go up against him, right? Hands are full. You're struggling to keep up with my output because I'm, you know, your hands are full with what I put out. And he says, and your little underpants are pulled all the way down to your ankles. About to get swatted, right? And what happens? This happened to me when I was in school. I was sitting on a fence and I fell backwards on it. And I was wearing sweats and they came down and I was upside down hanging off this fence holding my panties up. But my sweats are down on my ankles. And that's humiliating. And that's what Em is saying here. He's saying that my rivals are going to be humiliated. They're going to be exposed. They're going to be embarrassed. Their underpants down mean they've been defeated. They're now vulnerable. There's no hope for them. And then he says, "You getting spanked, and I'm your father." Oh, he's sunning them here. I love this. You know, I'm the father. I discipline the lesser rappers. I spank them, which is again a metaphor for lyrical dominance here. And then he says, "Told y'all I'm a soldier. I just showed up with a wife beater tank, and I'm a demolish." Okay, so I'm a soldier. I'm battle ready is what he's saying here. But I'm casual about it. I wear my wife beater, you know, which again, a wife beater it always symbolizes like raw aggression. And then he says, when he says demolish here, he says, "I promise total destruction for my opponents." And so, dude, I love him. He's so clever.
Y'all niggas random world, I'm intangible, but your hands are full. Angel low, I'm the pants are pulled all the way down to your ankles. You getting spanked and I'm your father. Told ya I'm a soldier. I just showed up in a white beat to take and I'm a demolish. I always said what I didn't have a dime to my name and lived as smaller. If I had 3 quarters, 2 dimes and a nickel, I wouldn't change for $1. But I signed 50 sitting, put them in my piggy bank and I ain't gonna apologize to you for what the fuck.
Dude, this is fire. I always said when I didn't have a dime to my name and lived in squalor. So he's reflecting on his past, growing up over in 8 Mile, you know, growing up in his trailer park. You know, I always said back in those times, and he's using this whole like rag to riches narrative. He says, if I had 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and a nickel, which if you add that up, it's 95 cents. You know, which to me, 95 cents is not 100, so it's close to success, but it's not quite success. And it's highlighting his struggle before fame. He says, I wouldn't change for $1, but I signed 50 Cent and put him in my piggy bank. So I wouldn't change for $1. So I love that spin. I had 95 cents, change, dollar. I wouldn't change the 95 for $1, but also change for $1. So even with near success, he's saying, I stay true to myself. I refuse to change. You know, I'm not a sellout for money, fame, or for all of that stuff. But he says, but I signed 50 Cent and put him in my piggy bank. So signing 50 Cent obviously is a going with that scheme, 95 cents, $1, change, 50 cents, all of that. But for him, it was a financial and cultural win. You know, piggy bank symbolizing his wealth and his influence. When he signed 50 Cent, shout out to 50 Cent. Love the guy. And again, he's shouting out to a 50 song piggy bank. So there's a shout out there. He's doing a lot of doubles here. I love this. But that's M. M always does doubles.
I always said what I didn't have a dime to my name and lived as smaller. If I had 3 quarters, 2 dimes and a nickel, I wouldn't change for $1. But I signed 50 Cent and put him in my piggy bank and I ain't gonna apologize to you for what the fuck I do. My advice to you, get 5 bazookas, some type of nuke, a knife, a ruka, decisive 2 guns, cause I'm spraying the...
Okay, I ain't gonna apologize. So I ain't gonna Apollo. And there's a pause there for a reason. Okay. I think cutting off apologizes is he's signifying like a defiance and no regrets to his action or success. So I ain't gonna Apollo. And then he says, Jize to you for what the F I do. My advice to you, get 5 bazookas. So he's refusing to apologize is what he's saying here. And he's advising his rivals to arm themselves heavily. 5 bazookas to even attempt to challenge him? Come on. Emphasizing his dominance. And then he says, some kind of nuke, a knife, a Ruger, the size of 2 guns. So he's escalating the imagery of, it's not just now a bazooka, it's now a nuke. It's like all kinds of things, right? And he's talking about like he's got extreme firepower, right? A nuke, a Ruger. It's gonna be, you're gonna nuke yourself. You're gonna face all this stuff if you face him, because he's got some lyrical lethality with that. And this goes on to the next bar here.
But I signed 50 cents, put them in my piggy bank, and I ain't gonna apologize to you for what the fuck I do. My advice to you, get 5 bazookas, some type of nuke, a knife, a Ruger, the size of 2 guns, cause I'm spraying the Rossi like I'm NWA in the posse, just like Killer and Dre and caught me, man. Look at all the mayhem across me, that's probably why I stay in the hot seat.
Dude, this is fire. This is fire right here. Oh, he's doing a lot of shout outs here. Okay. He says, cause I'm spraying like Rozzy, like I'm NWA in the posse. So spraying the Rozzy being the firearm, okay, means that his rhymes are like gunfire. But then he references NWA, his Raw Energy and their album NWA in the posse. So that's fire there. And then he says, just like Yella, Ren, Dre, and them taught me. So he's paying homage to NWA, obviously, right? DJ Yella, MC Ren. Shout out to also the other Ren, but MC Ren, Dr. Dre. And then Eminem credits their influence on why Eminem is so aggressive and so authentic in his style. And then he says, man, look at all the mayhem I'm causing. So his rhymes are causing mayhem. Mayhem is like a boast. He's boasting of his disruption in the rap game. And then he says, that's probably why I stay in the hot seat. So, meaning that Eminem's controversial style keeps him in the spotlight, hot seat, like a position of scrutiny and prominence. So, yeah. And shout out to these guys. I love this.
In the posse, just like Killer and
back. Oh, play.
Ruger, the size of 2 guns, cause I'm spraying the Rossi like I'm NWA in the posse, just like Killer and Dre and caught me, man. Look at all the mayhem across me, that's probably why I stay in the hot seat. With these magazines, I act out like gay and his cousin. No cocksucker around spraying and busting. These shit sucks, stick, stop saying it doesn't. That's probably the reason there's nothing. You body the reason.
With these magazines, I act out like Ye. And, oh, dude. Didn't Ye just say he had sex with his cousin? Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, throwing Tony Williams under the bus. Oh my gosh. Okay, with these magazines, his guns, clips, media, all those things, they're fuel for his bold actions, likened to Kanye West and his cousin Tony Williams. Okay. I mean, they're bold, but then he says, "Little C sucker, I'm spraying and busting." So there's a double there. You know, it's a direct insult, spraying and busting. It's that metaphor of the gun violence, but it's also, you know, a metaphor for his relentless rhymes. But it's also like what do you do when someone ejaculates? It's, you know, they spray and bust a nut. So there's something there, and then he says. He says, your crap sucks, D. Stop saying it doesn't. Okay? So he's dismissing his rivals as garbage. Their music sucks. And he's challenging their denial, showcasing, like, listen, I'm Slim Shady, dude. Like, there's nothing you can do here. And then he says, that's probably the reason there's nothing you've bodied of recent. So, just fire. This is fire, 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 fire. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's kick this back.
Cause I'm spraying the Rossi like I'm NWA in the posse, just like Killer and Dre and caught me, man. Look at all the mayhem across me, that's probably why I stay in the hot seat with these magazines that act out like gay and his cousin. No cocksucker around spraying and busting. These shit sucks, stick, stop saying it doesn't. With these magazines that act out like gay and his cousin. No cocksucker around spraying and busting. These shit sucks, stick, stop saying it doesn't. That's probably the reason there's nothing. You body the reason. I feel like I just walked in and seen you naked, cause you not even decent. Get ripped like Moscow clothing, like a sleeping cow. I'm bulldozing a rap god since my socks were holy. Was on that block like a sock.
Shout out to Rap God. Okay, he says, oh, I went too far. Okay, he says, I feel like I just walked in and seen you naked cause you not even decent. So he's catching his rivals naked, right? So implying that he's exposing all their flaws. You're not even decent, right? And he's double down saying that they lack basic skills. And then he says, get ripped like my school clothing. So my rivals are torn apart, and you have M's own M's always talked about his being bullied in school. He had these worn out clothes, and he had a tough childhood, and he always got beat up, and so he's get ripped like my school clothing. So he's talking about that. And he says, like a sleeping cow, I'm bulldozing. There's a nice double there. Cow, bull. A sleeping cow is like a bull, a cow dozing off, but bulldozing, I'm also like a bulldozer. So that's a cool one there. You know, bulldozing through like massive opponents, you know, tying the whole animal theme. So there's a double there. He says, a rap god since my socks were holy. And I love that too, because God, holy, dude, he's always got these doubles, and they're so amazing. But he's referencing this song, Rap God, obviously. He's claiming that he's got like divine skill in his lyricism. Socks holy, you know, again, he's got skills even in poverty. When he says socks are holy, like I've got longevity in this. I'm not going anywhere. And so there's fire there.
The reason is nothing, you body the reason. I feel like I just walked in and seen you naked, cause you not even decent. Get ripped like Moscow clothing, like a sleeping cow. I'm bulldozing a rap god since my socks were holy. Was on that block like a soccer goalie. Mocking, knocking, show me glass, I'm toting, locking, loading, rockin', rolling, rock-a-rolling, guacamole, massacholi. Like this flow you out of pocket, homie, y'all could only hope.
Let's break that one down. Okay. I'm trying to save my voice, that's why I'm not so animated this time. Was on the block like a soccer goalie, okay? So I've stood firm in my neighborhood, block like a soccer goalie, like defending the goal. I was resilient, I was immovable. He says, Ma could not control me, Glocks I'm toting. So again, his rebellion as a young person, he defied his mother's control. And he says, with Glocks I'm toting. So he's evoking street life to obviously like his lyrical weaponry. He says, lock and loading, rock and rolling, rock-a-rolly. So lock and loading, preparing the gun, right? He's getting ready to shoot. That blends with rock and rolling. He's performing energetically. And then rock-a-rolly, his Rolex, right? He's showcasing his versatility, like he's all of the above. Guacamole, mastacoli, and like this flow, you're out of pocket, homie. So guacamole, which is, you know, food, but it's also money. Mastacoli, which is pasta. So guacamole and pasta, they sometimes go together. So they're playful. And he's like, I'm rhyming this flow while he says out of pocket. So he's called, you know, while you're out of pocket, it's really what he's saying. You're out of pocket, homie. Like your flows, my rivals, you're reckless and you're irrelevant is what he's saying here.
I'm bulldozing a rap god since my socks were holy. Was on that block like a soccer goalie. Mocking, knocking, show me glass, I'm toting, locking, loading, rockin', rolling, rock-a-rolling, guacamole, massacholi. Like this flow, you're out of pocket, homie. Y'all could only hope to catch the flow, but if you know, you know. I told your host to slow you roast before you go and throw your whole career. Been the toilet bowl, enjoy the go. This is my house.
You cannot hope to catch the flow, but if you know, you know. So rivals obviously can't match his flow, you know. And true fans, if you know, you know, right? So we recognize his unmatched skills here. Is what he's talking about here. He says, "I told you, hoes, to slow your rolls before you go and throw your whole career in the toilet bowl. Enjoy the goat." So he's saying, "Listen, guys, don't ruin your whole careers. I'm the GOAT here. I'm the greatest of all time. That's me. So if you want to come at me, you're going to throw your career down the toilet." So you don't do that.
No, you know I told your host to slow your rolls before you go and throw your whole career. Been the toilet bowl, enjoy the go. This is my house, a horse like a brothel. I don't put Ja Rule, do it like law school. Keep it a stack of pancakes, I'm awful. So many flags in Belgium, got a waffle. In fact, you would hate my...
Dude. Oh, he's frying my brain. He's frying my brain. This my house of horrors, like a brothel. So the rap domain is my house of horrors. It's chaotic and it's intimidating, and it's like into a brothel because it's raw, it's unfiltered, and it's it's not necessarily mainstream. It's you know, it's on the edge, if you would. And he's I done put Ja Rule through it like law school. Ja Rule, Toilet Man. Ja Rule. We know Eminem destroyed Ja Rule, schooled him, like, you know, put him through law school, which means this, like, I took him to the cleaners. I destroyed Ja Rule. Ja Rule's still in his raps 20 years later. I love it. He says, keep it stack like pancakes, I'm awful. So keep it stack, you know, honest, keep it honest, but also money stacks, but also like stacks of money, but also like stacks of pancakes. He likes the pancakes, why awful, that's a double, meaning terrible. It's terrible, but it's also dangerous, like it's impressive. So that's that one. And then he says, so many plaques from Belgium, got a waffle. So again, he's referencing his awards from places like Belgium that fill his wall. He's boasting of his like global success, because that's Emma obviously is a global star.
Slow your rolls before you go and take your whole career. Been the toilet bowl, enjoy the go. This is my house, a horse like a brothel. I don't put Ja Rule, do it like law school. Keep it a stack of pancakes, I'm awful. So many flags in Belgium, got a waffle. In fact, you would hate my walls, they're awful. They call me Marshall, but I'm unlawful. It's a Groundhog's Day or deja vu. Won't stop, period. Post-menopausal. Go so post.
In fact, you would hate my walls, they're all full. Again, so haters are gonna hate, right? He's got all these achievements, you know. He's been dominant, but people are gonna hate. They're gonna hate. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. He says they call me Marshall, but I'm unlawful. So obviously, being Marshall Mathers, it's a contrast to his rebellious, unlawful persona, embracing like his outlaw image. And he says, "Is it Groundhog Day or deja vu?" And I always say, when someone says, "Man, deja vu," I always say, "Didn't you just say that? Deja vu?" But he's referencing the film Groundhog Day and Deja Vu, and he's questioning if history's repeating itself, reflecting on his consistent dominance. Like he's 3 decades in. He's been doing this for like 30 years. 3 decades. Is history just repeating itself, or he's just gonna be dominant over and over and over again? And he says, "Won't stop. Period. Post-menopausal." Dude, this is such a fire line. Okay, I'm relentless. I'm not gonna stop. But won't stop. Period. Like a period. Post-menopausal. I'm unstoppable, like menopausal. Postmenopausal usually is when you're not stopping. I won't stop. You know, obviously, if you have a flow, it's not stopping. It's just fire. That's a fire bar.
School, keep it a stack of pancakes, I'm awful. So many flags in Belgium, got a waffle. In fact, you would hate my walls, they're awful. They call me Marshall, but I'm unlawful. It's a Groundhog's Day or deja vu. Won't stop. Period. Postmenopausal. Go so postal that most postmenopause, I'll slaughter the rhyme. These flows gonna boggle the mind. Y'all get in line. You're talking to Einstein. Fuck talking the line. I'm jogging it. I'm a cross between it.
Okay, let's break this one down. Go so postal that most postmenopause, I'll slaughter their. He spins these words. It's just like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So go postal. Obviously, that's a term from the 90s when the going postal, going crazy. He outdoes even postal workers, is what he's saying here, with slaughter the rhyme, meaning I'm gonna devastate you. And then he says these flows gonna boggle the mind, because it's post menopause, so menopause, but then flows. So there's a double there. My flow, my lyrical flow, but the flow going on that menopausal scheme is gonna boggle the mind, because I'm brilliant, is what he's saying here. And then he says, y'all get in line like you're talking. Y'all get in line. You're talking to Einstein. So he's like, listen, all you guys just stand behind me. I'm the brilliance here. I'm the one that has, like, follow my lead. Like, I'm a genius like Einstein. My intellectual and lyrical status is elevated far beyond yours. And he says, F walking in line, I'm jogging it. Okay? So he's rejecting the walking in line, like, because he accepts it. I'm jogging, I mean, I surpassed all expectations. But also, when you walk the line, you're going to die. So, I'm not going to walk the line. I'm going to jog it. Like, I'm going to butcher and murder you. Like, you don't have a chance with me. Fire.
Go so postal that most post-middle bars I'll slaughter the rhyme. These flows gonna boggle the mind. You're getting line, you're talking to Einstein. Fuck walking the line, I'm jogging it. I'm a cross between a dog and a juvenile. Motherfucking childish punk. Gonna be popping the most wildest junk. And I'm known as the prick that's not the fuck with. Call me erectile.
That's a cool line too. I'm a cross between dog and a juvenile-ish, mother effing childish punk. So he's blending obviously the animal imagery, dog, with the youthful rebellion, juvenile-ish. Childish, right? He's wild, yet he's playful. He's having fun with this. So, and I think it's a nod to like juvenile and childish Gambino. He says, and I be popping the most wildest junk. So his music's bold, it's unconventional. Wildest junk, I think, is like he's gonna do the wildest junk, going on to the sexual innuendo that he's about to do that junk prick onto the next line that we saw coming up there. And I be popping the most wildest junk. So I'm standing out in the rap landscape, so he's referring to here. And then he says, and I'm known as the prick that's not to F with. Again, we know that the next line is going to be the erectile dysfunction, which is funny. But he's like, listen, my reputation, I'm seen as one that is, I'm a prick. You can't approach me. I am unapproachable. And so at the same time, I want you to know, if you're my rival, stand clear of me. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. Don't mess with me. And then he's doing that whole sexual scheme.
Boggle the mind, you're getting line, you're talking to Einstein. Fuck walking the line, I'm jogging it. I'm across between a dog and a juvenile. Motherfucking child, I'm gonna be popping the most wildest junk. And I'm known as the prick that's not the fuck with. Call me erectile dysfunction. My ballistic missile is launching and wilding like 7 Mile in.
Ballistic, ball, stick, missile.
It's not the fuck with. Call me erectile dysfunction. My ballistic missile is launching and wilding like 7 Mile in running. Bunch of violent gunmen. I do it like Puff do it. Tell my hitters to hit 'em up, do it. So like my middle fingers to a 2-box song, you know that I put 'em up to it. 12.
Call me That's why I don't break down songs all the time. They just fry my brain. Call me erectile dysfunction. My ballistic missile is launching. So obviously erectile dysfunction. He's unpredictable but powerful. And his rhymes like a ballistic missile launching destructively, but also erectile dysfunction, ballistic missile launching, ballistic. So there's play on words there. He says, I'm wildin' like 7 Mile and Runyon, bunch of violent gunmen. So he's referencing Detroit's 7 Mile and Runyon Avenue, which is D12's roots. We know that because he's part of D12. He's wild, dangerous, and he's backed by a crew of violent gunmen is what he's talking about here. And then he does shout out here, I do it like Puff. I do it like Puff do it. P. Diddy. I wrote a song on P. Diddy. I haven't released it yet, but I'm going to. Tell my hitters to hit him up. Do it. So he's mimicking Puff Daddy's commanding style, obviously. He's ordering his crew to attack him with hit him up, echoing Tupac's aggression there, which I love there. I do it like Puff do it. Go to a puff party. I do it like a puff party. So like my middle fingers to a Tupac song, you know that I put him up to it. So obviously he's raising his middle fingers, which is paying homage to Tupac's Defiant tracks. He's that M instigates conflict. He stays true to his rebellious nature is what he's talking about here. So that's fire.
My ballistic missile is launching and wilding like 7 Mile in running. Bunch of violent gunmen. I do it like Puff do it. Tell my hitters to hit 'em up, do it. So like my middle fingers to a 2-box song, you know that I put 'em up to it. 12 gauge at the age of 12, case of self-rage. I've been raising hell. I'm so Jam Master J and dare race yourself. It's about to be a fucking shootout like the OK Corral. Bounding on me like a paper towel.
Alright. 12 gauge at the age of 12. Cage up self-rage. I've been raising hell. So 12 gauge obviously is a 12 gauge gun, but at the age of 12, he had this pent up anger at the age of 12. He had this self rage. He's fueling his rebellious path. So there's that. Like I'm Joe, J Master J, and Daryl, brace yourself. So shout out to Run DMC here. Love Run DMC. Joseph Simmons, Jam Master J, Daryl McDaniels. He channels like their pioneering energy, and he's warning rivals to repair it. And we know that, I think it's in Rap God, he talked about how he inducted Run DMC into the Hall of Fame when he was into the Hall of Shame, so that's fire. And then he says, it's about to be a effing shootout like the OK Corral. So, you know, again, the OK Corral was a famous shootout, but he promises that his lyrical battle is going to be just as intense. It's going to be a divisive clash. It's just going to break down and obliterate his opponents. Everyone's going to die.
12 gauge at the age of 12 case of self-rage. I've been raising hell like I'm so Jam Master J, and dare race yourself. It's about to be a fucking shootout like the OK Corral. Bounty on me like a paper towel. They want me to go on the straight and narrow like the same shape that they make an arrow. Never sell out.
Let's break this down too. Okay. Oops, I went too far.
Raising hell like I'm so Jam Master J, and dare race yourself. It's about to be a fucking shootout like the OK Corral. Bounty on me like a paper.
Okay. Bounty on me like a paper towel. So, meaning that, hey, listen, my notoriety, I'm saying, makes him a target, right? There's a bounty with a paper towel, though, right? Like Bounty brand paper towel bounty. So there's a bar there, a double there. And such clever wordplay. But, like, he's saying that my value, everyone's going to attack me. Everyone's going to attack me. But it's like coming at me with a paper towel. He said they want to go on the straight and narrow. Okay? So critics are pushing, they want me to go on the straight and narrow. So critics are pushing him to conform, you know, straight and narrow, right? But he resists, he's staying true to his rebellious path. And then he says, like the same shape that they make an arrow. Like the same shape that they make an arrow. So straight and narrow, obviously, is like into an arrow shape. Like he's not going to conform is what he's saying. So I love that visual metaphor that he's doing here.
But out, they want me to go on the straight and narrow like the same shape that they make an arrow. Never sell out for the fame and well-paid Chappelle to the rap game. I'm never gonna play myself closest I ever came. 8 Mile, but the fucking pain I felt when I lost proof. Couldn't explain how that devil came down. Then in one valley swooped. Look at how.
Oh yeah, proof. Never sell out for the fame and well. So he prioritizes his being his authenticity over commercial success, right? Like that's always been like a recurring theme over his career. He says Dave Chappelle of the rap game, meaning he's the GOAT, right? I'm never gonna play myself. So just like Dave Chappelle walked away and went to Africa for a season, he walked away from fame for integrity. Eminem refuses to compromise or to play himself, right? Even though he played himself in 8 Mile, like he played Eminem. So that's fire. And then he does the reference to Eminem here. Closest I ever came, 8 Mile, but the effing pain I felt. So obviously when he did 8 Mile, that was the closest he went to sellout moment. But it came with personal pain, and because he had a reference to the struggles of that era. And he says, when I lost proof, could explain how the devil came down. So obviously the death of his friend Proof, D12, we know that rocked M's world. They were really good friends. He says that with devil came down, so he's evoking the sudden evil loss that he experienced with that. And then he goes on, and I want to get the rest of this.
They make an arrow. Never sell out for the fame and well-paid Chappelle to the rap game. I'm never gonna play myself closest I ever came. 8 Mile, but the fucking pain I felt when I lost proof. Couldn't explain how that devil came down. Then in one valley swooped. Look at how foul he stooped. Had to throw in that towel, regroup like Sean O'Malley. Still at Mally. That devil came down. Then in one valley swooped.
Yeah. Then in one fell, he swooped. Look at how foul he stooped. Again, Proof's death was like instant, right? It was just one fall and swoop. And with foul and stooped, he's conveying the tragedy of injustice, right? That happened. And then he says, had to throw in the towel, regroup. Like Sean O'Malley, still that mouthy youth. So he's saying, listen, I briefly gave up. I threw in the towel, right? But then I regrouped. And he's likened himself to that UFC fighter, Sean O'Malley, who who retained his boldness and youthfulness. Like I'm not quitting. I'm still here. I'm not done. Is what he's saying here.
Closest I ever came, take my motherfucking pain I felt when I lost proof. Couldn't explain how that devil came down. Then in one valley swoop. Look at how foul he stooped. Had to throw in that towel. Regroup like Sean O'Malley. Still at Mally. Use this here to finale. Try to rally troops. Fit around up and corral recruits. But no matter how many you tally to surround these two, you can fuck around.
Okay. This here, the finale. Try to rally troops. Better round up and corral recruits. So again, he's saying that this verse is the climatic finale. I'm challenging my rivals. Gather your forces, right, which is the choral recruits. But even if you gather all of your reinforcements, they're still going to fail. And then he says, here's the finale. Okay, around the choral recruits. Better round, but no matter how many you tally to surround these two. So again, so he's referencing himself in JID here. There's no number of opponents who can outdo their combined skill. That's what he's saying here.
One valley swoop, look at how foul he stooped. Had to throw in that towel, regroup like Sean O'Malley. Still at Mally, use this here to finale. Try to rally troops, fit around up and corral recruits. But no matter how many you tally to surround these two, you can fuck around and find out just what the fuck we about when you see how we shoot. And I ain't talking about how we hoop when you lay up in the motherfucking alley. Oops, it's like a
That's fire. You're gonna F around and find out just what the F we bout when you see how we shoot. Okay? So here's a warning. Listen, you're gonna learn the strength of how we shoot. We shoot through your defeat, you know? You're gonna F around and find out. That's a threat. Like, don't do it. And then he says, I ain't talking about how we hoop when you lay up the alley-oops, right? So he's doing the whole basketball. One launches, the other one dunks it. There's an alley-oop there. Okay? Shoot isn't just about basketball, but it's about violence. Okay? I'm gonna lay up in an alley-oop. You know, but also lay up in an alley, meaning I ain't talking about how we hoop when you lay up in it. When you lay up in an alley, oops, but alley oops. So there's a double there too. You're gonna lay in the alley dead, but also the alley oop. I love those. These bars are like insane here, which means that listen, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna die. And then he does that whole mocks. Oops. The whole Eminem style.
Fit around up and corral recruits, but no matter how many you tally to surround these two, you can fuck around and find out just what the fuck we about when you see how we shoot. And I ain't talking about how we hoop when you lay up in the motherfucking alley. Oops. It's like a Xanadu for every Xanadu. What I plan to do is take a peek and a blue hand of you. To me, I'll probably damage you. I could never stand to losing bananas. You motherfuckers can't do.
Okay. I can't even say these words, but I know what they mean. So, Xanadu is like paradise. It's a pun on Xanax, I think, referencing like his past drug struggles. Taking pink and blue, which would be the pills. But he's talking about like he's boasting of the reckless energy that he had, and then he says, "Hand a few to me, I'll brutally damage you. I could never stand to lose." So he's gonna destroy his rivals with like intense energy, like brutally damage them, right? Driven to like the like his inability to accept defeat.
We shoot, and I ain't talking about how we do when you lay up in the motherfucking alley. Oops, it's like a Xanadu for every Xanadu. What I plan to do is take a peek and a blue hand of you. To me, I'll brutally damage you. I could never stand to losing bananas. You motherfuckers can't do it sicker than I do. You couldn't get rid of this shit with Tamiflu cannibals. You little bitch, me and JID, just like bestiality. We fucking animals.
Dude, this is fire. I'm bananas. You mother can't do it sicker than I do. Again, bananas crazy, right? But also, this is animals, going back to that chimpanzee thing that JID did. No one can outdo my skill on bananas. He says you couldn't get rid of this crap with Tamiflu, okay? So I'm unstoppable like the virus, like a virus immune to Tamiflu. Like I've got lyrical dominance. He says, cannibals, you little bee. Me and JID are just like bestiality. We have animals, dude. I love this. You know, hey, JID and M, they're cannibals. They're animals, and which is the song's theme, right? And you know, and they're raw and they're beasts. And you're gonna try and mess with it. You're gonna get some bestiality. sick.
It was take a began a blue hand of you to me. I brutally damage you. I could never stand to losing bananas. Motherfuckers can't do it sicker than I do. You couldn't get rid of this shit with Tamiflu cannibals. You little bitch, me and JID, just like bestiality. We fucking animals. I'm backing them, body bagging them, toe tagging them.
Just like bestiality, we effing animals. That's what bestiality, but we're also animals. Going to the track. I love that. And then he says here, and I'm back. Sorry, I'm back and I'm body bagging them, toe tagging them in the back of a Volkswagen. So Eminem's return is always lethal. He's body bagging, he's toe tagging, he's killing them all. And he's putting them in a gritty Volkswagen, like they don't even get a hearse. And he says, and dragging them hoe bags, I'm throat gagging them. Again, that violent sexual scheme there. And he's calling his rivals like hoe bags. And then he says, just demolishing them. He says, till I get thrown back in a paddy wagon and back on the Prozac. So his chaos might lead him to the paddy wagon, right? Which is the police van. It might put him on back on meds. It might make him go on drug out again.
I'm in the back of the Volkswagen and dragging them hoe backs and I'm throat gagging them till I get thrown back in the paddy wagon and back on the Prozac. And I know that, but I'm so bad with a notepad that it don't matter. The ghost back's gonna go at anyone who got the gonads, the cojones, yeah.
Fire. This last line, we're here. And I know that, but I'm so bad with a notepad that it don't matter. So despite his personal struggles, despite his the things that he's gone through, his ability with the notepad is writing so strong it overshadows everything else. He says, the goat's back, referring to himself. Gonna go at anyone who got gonads or cojones. Yeah, so he's the goat, and you're ready to challenge him if you're bold enough. If you've got the gonads, the nuts, the balls, he's going to come after you. He's going to try it. Go for it, because you're not going to survive. So there you go. I broke this down. I'm lost my voice. This is long enough. Please check out my song, House of Ashes. It's nothing like this, but I think you guys will dig it. And I'll see you on the next one, because this is a long video. I'm out. Bye.